Probably one of the most significant events in history that people wish did not happen is the dark period under the Nazi regime in Germany. But did you know that there was actually a group that was close to overthrowing Hitler and the whole Nazi leadership? Stick around as we discuss Operation Valkyrie and why it didn't succeed in its mission. Welcome to our channel. In this video, we're going to uncover another interesting event in history that you might not have heard about. Operation Valkyrie, also known as the July Plot, is the most famous assassination attempt on the life of German dictator Adolf Hitler. Together, we're going to find out how Operation Valkyrie was carried out and why it ultimately failed. Have you ever heard of Operation Valkyrie? What do you know so far about it? Share it in the comments below. As we start, let's answer one important question. Who was the main driving force behind this plot? At the heart of this audacious endeavor was Claus von Stauffenberg, a high-ranking German army officer whose convictions led him to risk everything in an effort to save Germany from the destructive path set by Hitler. Stauffenberg was a German army officer and one of the key figures in the German resistance against Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime during World War II. He was born on November 15, 1907, in Jettingen, Germany, into an aristocratic family. Stauffenberg initially supported Hitler and joined the Nazi Party in 1933. However, as he witnessed the atrocities committed by the regime and became aware of Hitler's plans for war and genocide, he became disillusioned and joined the resistance movement. Stauffenberg believed that Hitler's leadership was leading Germany to ruin and sought to remove him from power. In the summer of 1944, as the war raged on and Nazi atrocities continued to shock the world, Stauffenberg and his co-conspirators resolved to take action. Their objective was clear: eliminate Hitler and seize control of the government, thus enabling them to negotiate a peace treaty with the Allied forces. They recognized that the dictator's death was a critical first step towards ending the war and preventing further bloodshed. The plan entailed that following Hitler's demise, the military would assert that his assassination was part of a Nazi Party coup, prompting the reserve army to swiftly secure vital locations in Berlin and apprehend prominent Nazi figures. Subsequently, a fresh government would be established, with Karl Friedrich Goerdeler assuming the role of chancellor and Ludwig Beck as president. The primary objective of this new administration was to engage in negotiations aimed at bringing an end to the war, preferably with favorable conditions for Germany. As per the account of Philipp Freiherr von Boeselager, one of the few surviving participants of the July Plot, the motivations among the principal conspirators were diverse. For some, their primary aim was to evade an inevitable military defeat, while others sought to preserve and uphold at least a portion of their nation's moral values. Consequently, the selection of Stauffenberg as a key figure was made because of his unwavering dedication to German nationalism, despite not holding official membership in the Nazi Party. Over time, he developed a firm conviction that it was his patriotic obligation to rid Germany of Adolf Hitler to rescue the country from its impending doom. Nonetheless, Hitler was no unfamiliar face when it came to assassination plots. Since the late 1930s, as he rapidly ascended to power in Germany's political landscape, attempts on his life have become a relatively regular occurrence. As his paranoia heightened, Hitler frequently altered his schedule abruptly and without prior warning, making it challenging for would-be assassins to plan their actions effectively. We're about to get to know how Operation Valkyrie was carried out. What are your guesses as to how it failed? Comment below. The plotters had counted on the meeting occurring in an underground bunker made of solid concrete, devoid of windows, and secured by a sturdy steel door. This choice of location was crucial, as it would contain the explosion and ensure that anyone near the bomb would be instantly killed by the shrapnel. Accompanied by Lieutenant Werner von Haften, Stauffenberg attended Hitler's military conference at the Wolfschanze in East Prussia, carrying a bomb concealed within his briefcase. According to Pierre Galante's book, Operation Valkyrie, the German general's plot against Hitler, the day of July 20th was oppressively hot, leading the organizers to decide to move the meeting to an above-ground wooden bunker that offered better ventilation. Unfortunately, this wooden room had numerous windows and was adorned with a wooden table and decorative furniture, which would absorb and disperse much of the explosive energy, greatly reducing the potential impact of the blast. Despite being aware of this setback, Stauffenberg pressed on, believing that even with the compromised explosion, 2 bombs would still be sufficient to destroy the room and kill everyone inside. Upon his arrival, Stauffenberg excused himself to a private chamber, claiming he needed to change his shirt. In reality, he used this opportunity to arm and prepare the 2 explosive devices. However, an unexpected phone call and an urgent knock on his door disrupted his preparations, leaving him with only enough time to arm only one of the 2 bombs. Consequently, the potential destructive power of the explosion was halved. Recognizing the diminished impact, Stauffenberg understood that he needed to position the explosive device as close to Hitler as possible to maximize the damage. Exploiting the excuse of impaired hearing due to his injuries, he managed to secure a seat near Hitler, with only one person separating him from the Führer. Stauffenberg placed the briefcase as close as he could to Hitler, and under the pretense of a personal phone call, left the room. During this interval, another official took Stauffenberg's seat and inadvertently moved the briefcase to a location on the opposite side of a heavy wooden support leg beneath the meeting room's table. Precisely at 12:42 p.m., the bomb erupted in a detonation, triggering a state of panic. Instantly, a stenographer lost their life, and 20 individuals suffered injuries, including 3 officers who later succumbed to their wounds. Convinced that Hitler had been successfully eliminated, Stauffenberg and his aide, Werner von Haiften, hastily boarded a staff car and skillfully deceived their way past 3 military checkpoints to flee the turmoil at the Wolfschanze complex. However, contrary to their expectations, Hitler, along with those shielded by the robust wooden table leg, survived the blast with only minor abrasions and a perforated eardrum. Hitler's trousers were completely torn, and the Nazi leadership would later exploit photographs of the damaged pants as part of a propaganda campaign. Believing that Hitler had met his demise, Stauffenberg and von Haiften swiftly made their way to a nearby airfield, under the conviction that no one could have possibly survived such a catastrophic explosion. Upon returning to Berlin, Stauffenberg, General Friedrich Olbricht, and General Ludwig Beck of the German General Staff set their military coup plan into motion. However, their hopes were shattered when Joseph Goebbels, through a radio announcement, revealed that Hitler had indeed survived. Later that evening, Hitler himself addressed the nation on state radio, further affirming his survival. It was at this moment that the conspirators realized their coup had failed. They were relentlessly pursued and ultimately cornered at their Bendler Block offices in Berlin, where they ultimately surrendered following a brief exchange of gunfire. Following the counter-coup staged at the Berlin headquarters, General Friedrich Fromm, who had been aware of and had tacitly supported the plot, endeavored to demonstrate his loyalty. He accomplished this by apprehending several key conspirators, leading to their swift execution. In the ensuing days, Hitler's police meticulously rounded up the remaining individuals involved in the conspiracy. Many of them endured brutal torture at the hands of the Gestapo, aimed at extracting information about their collaborators. Subsequently, they were brought before the Volksgericht, or People's Court, where they faced scathing condemnation from the infamous Nazi judge Roland Freisler. Approximately 180 to 200 plotters met their fate through methods such as shooting, hanging, strangulation with piano wire, or being gruesomely suspended from meat hooks. Even General Friedrich Fromm himself was eventually arrested, subjected to trial, and subsequently executed. Hitler unleashed a brutal wave of revenge in response to the events of July 20th, 1944. General Friedrich Fromm swiftly organized an impromptu court-martial on the very night of July 20th and condemned the leaders of the conspiracy to death. In the face of his impending fate, General Ludwig Beck chose to take his own life. Meanwhile, Claus von Stauffenberg, Werner von Haiften, General Friedrich Olbricht, and another officer named Albrecht Merz von Kirnheim were executed by an improvised firing squad in the courtyard of the Bendler Block. Stauffenberg was slated to be the third to face execution, but von Haiften valiantly positioned himself between Stauffenberg and the firing squad, sacrificing his life to shield Stauffenberg from the bullets. In August, Stauffenberg's brother Berthold was among 8 conspirators who faced a gruesome death by slow strangulation in Plötzensee prison in Berlin. The entire execution process was meticulously filmed for Hitler's personal viewing at his leisure as part of his vengeful satisfaction. In the following months, It is estimated that more than 7,000 Germans met their demise or were imprisoned in concentration camps as Hitler unleashed his vengeance upon the adversaries of the Third Reich. Nevertheless, the conspirators achieved a lasting triumph. Less than a year later, Hitler took his own life, and the Second World War in Europe came to a close. Stauffenberg has since been celebrated as a symbol of resistance against tyranny and has been portrayed in numerous films, books, and other media. His actions and the efforts of the German resistance serve as a reminder of the internal opposition that existed within Germany during the Nazi era. We hope you enjoyed learning about Operation Valkyrie and why its legacy lives to this day. Give this video a thumbs up if you did, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.